Hey there, movie lovers! Welcome back to my channel, where we break down blockbuster hits without spoiling the good stuff. Today, we're diving into one of the most intense zombie thrillers ever made, Train to Busan 2016, a South Korean film that redefined the zombie genre with heart-pounding action, emotional depth, and tight storytelling. Whether you've seen it or are just curious, this recap will take you through the journey without showing the climax. So, grab your seat and let's board the train. Our story begins with Seok-woo, a successful but emotionally distant fund manager based in Seoul. He's the kind of man who's more focused on spreadsheets than birthdays. His young daughter Soo-an lives with him, but their relationship is strained. For her birthday, she has just one wish: to visit her mother in Busan. Reluctantly, Seok-woo agrees. Early the next morning, they board the KTX bullet train bound for Busan, a journey that should only take a couple of hours. But while they leave the station thinking it'll be a normal trip, disaster is already unfolding behind the scenes. Before departure, a visibly injured woman sneaks aboard the train. Her behavior is strange, twitchy, weak, and confused. What the passengers don't know is that she's already infected with a fast-spreading virus that turns people into violent, sprinting zombies. Soon after the train departs, she collapses in one of the lavatories. Moments later, she turns and attacks a train attendant. The infection spreads like wildfire. Within minutes, entire cars are thrown into chaos as panicked passengers try to flee from the fast-moving infected. What sets this movie apart is how it handles tension. The infected are terrifyingly fast. The train's narrow hallways and sealed compartments amplify the sense of danger. One infected person in a car is enough to doom everyone if they're not quick. As the infection spreads through the back cars, passengers flee toward the front. They soon realize that zombies can't see well in the dark, giving them a slight advantage in tunnels. A few survivors manage to seal themselves in one of the train cars, forming a small but shaky alliance. At this point, survival becomes a team effort. Sang-hwa's strength, Yong-guk's agility, and Seok-woo's growing leadership start to form the backbone of the group. But danger isn't just from the infected, it also comes from people panicking and turning on one another. In one of the film's most intense sequences, the core group tries to reunite with loved ones who are trapped in another car. But to get there, they'll have to fight their way through several train cars filled with the undead. These scenes are gritty, tactical, and emotionally charged, with clever use of timing, lighting, and teamwork. But as they push forward, they learn something bitter. Some passengers aren't as brave or selfless. When fear spreads, even survivors can become the biggest threat. The film explores this brilliantly, how fear and self-preservation can lead to cruelty. Meanwhile, Seok-woo starts to change. Initially selfish and dismissive of others, he begins to realize that his daughter is watching his every move. This transformation becomes the emotional heartbeat of the story. As chaos grows, his role as a father begins to matter more than his job or pride. The train makes a brief stop at a city where survivors hope to find safety, but it turns into a trap. The infection has spread too far. The military is no longer a savior. This sequence is one of the film's most tense, with desperate chases and brutal decisions. After that, the survivors return to the train, with their numbers shrinking and morale low. The train, once a symbol of escape, now becomes a trap speeding into the unknown. By this point, the story has evolved from simple survival to a moral reckoning. Each character faces choices: help others or save yourself, trust or isolate, sacrifice or survive. The film builds toward a devastating climax, which we won't spoil, but let's just say it tests every emotional thread the film has set up so far. Train to Busan isn't just one of the best zombie films ever made, it's also a sharp look at humanity. Set within the confined space of a train, the movie explores how people react to fear, trauma, and each other. Director Yeon Sang-ho blends horror and heart masterfully, making you care deeply about the characters before throwing them into brutal life-or-death situations. The pacing is tight, the action sequences are thrilling, and the performances are powerful. What really stands out is the emotional core of the story.